first up tonight, 16 driver unions are demanding that government scraps some taxes on petroleum products. At least 5 taxes they say serve no useful purpose. Should this caution not be heeded, the unions say they will take an action that will be felt by commuters. A litre of petrol and diesel currently sells at 6 cedis 90 pesos at major oil marketing companies across the country. The driver unions say they cannot continue to put up with such high prices. Here's more in this report.
Commuters at the Circle Terminal wait patiently for the buses to take off. This wait may be longer than usual on Thursday unless government acts swiftly. The driver unions want at least 5 taxes scrapped.
We call on government to scrap totally the price stabilization and recovery levy of the 16 pesos per litre per gallon per petrol and then the 14 pesos per litre per diesel. The special petroleum tax, which is 46 per litre on either diesel or petrol. The energy sector levy recovery levy of 20 cedi per litre on either petrol or diesel, and the sanitation and pollution levy, which is 10 pesos per litre on either diesel or petrol. And lastly, the scrap of the energy debt recovery levy of 28 pesos on either diesel or petrol, since the arrears of the legacy debt owed to the bulk distribution companies have been cleared.
They say a failure by government to heed the call will result in a sit-down strike.
On Thursday, from 6 o'clock up to 3 o'clock, we will take the workers to workplace. And from 3 o'clock, we cease to work. We will not work again till this that we have pointed out have been reduced or have been cancelled at all. So then we will work. But if somebody is here listening, I'm telling them they should get their food basket ready. They should prepare everything at home. Drivers are not going to move out. Be in trailer, be it truck, be it online, be in tipper truck, be in Aboboya, even Okada. Any vehicle that uses fuel, anything fuelable is not moving on Thursday, 3 o'clock. Everybody that sees a car at 3 o'clock as drivers, ask your colleague driver a question. And no car, I'm saying this because it's violation of transport organization.
We have given them ample notice, but they've taken us for granted. Now is the time for us to flex the muscles and see who will bite first. We are ready. We will face them till the right thing is done here. We will not allow our businesses to go down because we have a government that is insensitive to our plight.
Petrol and diesel currently sell at least 6 cedis 90 pesos at major oil marketing companies. Government already suspended 2 of such levies. Only time will tell if this latest 48-hour directive will result in further suspensions.
That was a report from Circle here in the Greater Accra region. In the Ashanti region, some transport operators say they would rather fuel prices go down than increase transport fares. They want to avoid confrontation with passengers. Here's more.
Prices have increased significantly by 28% over the past 10 months. The continuous increment is a thorn to many Ghanaians. Apia, a taxi driver, says he and his colleagues are worse affected.
No, first in the to from there. Fancy full bear 20 cedis. To bear 1 million crore, 5 gallons. Are you okay? 5 gallons, you okay, crana. Ubet me a juma and yakakra. When you bear 2 million crore, now Tifu and
the government deliberately increased the fuel prices on weekends. The increase does not reflect in our prices.
Sunday, Saturday, I'm to fuel. Sunday, Saturday, to fuel. By do I'm to my number, you minitana, no matter to old Fernand, the edges are ultimate.
The price hikes in fuel has economically impacted negatively on businesses. Chorchor drivers like Ebenezer Kojomen supplying the Tech Junction to Atonsu route feels the impact of the high fuel cost.
Like a first one moved to me as a station car. Like I told you, 1.2, 1.3. It's me boy here. Maybe a Jumaya Pong Kama, Yahotan. By now, and I say by now, you're too much.
Our cars are station cars. The petrol does not carry us to the day. We are just making losses.
A station master at Tech Junction, Wachi Yadom, wants the government to take urgent steps to bring down the fuel prices, and he is worried about the economic impact of increasing transport fares.
Anytime the price of diesel and fuel is increased, we fight among ourselves a lot.
Because
Mona Lisa Frimpong reporting.
So will government consider a review of taxes on petroleum products in the 2022 budget? Well, Finance Minister Ken Fuyata was tight-lipped as to whether government will heed calls when asked by Joy Business.
We've gone to the Eurobond market, I guess 4 out of the 5 years since we came. And so those are always alternatives that we consider. Yeah.
Fuel prices are going up. I mean, the ordinary man on the streets is feeling the pinch.
Why are fuel prices going up?
Because crude prices are hitting the roof on the global market.
Okay, so what?
Is there anything government can do about it? Consumers.
I think we reduce some of the build-up taxes, but I mean it's good that you are clear the global prices, are having that effect. I'm not sure that it would. I mean, from the discussions that you hear from Saudi and OPEC and Co, I think they're going to hold on to restricting supply, which means that we're going to have this imported impact on our standards of living, which is a difficulty that we all have to try and find solutions to. But you can run, a budget deficit that does not make sense, because then you compound the problem of inflation, etc. So we're going to take a hard look to see how best we can manage in the years ahead. I don't know. You got 10 days to wait. I'm sure you have the patience like we all do.
Did you expect some surprises?
To see whether, but I don't think so.
Well, speak of the 2022 budget, the Finance Minister Ken Fuyata has given indication the budget will have programs aimed at boosting entrepreneurship and creating more jobs. This is on the back of rising unemployment because of the impact of COVID-19 on the economy. There is also the concern that the public sector may not be able to accommodate fresh graduates from the universities. The minister tells Joy Business government is committed to addressing the situation.
I think we have to wait. I mean, certainly the issue of youth and jobs is at the centrality of this, and really how to create an entrepreneurial state. I think it's our challenge in the years ahead. So it's an exciting and difficult time, but I think we need to take the bull by the horn and tackle it and create a mechanism in which the youth, the various enablers, as in IT and credit and training, will be brought to the fore, and so we can kill this canker. I mean, clearly, I think the most important thing is really intervening on access to jobs and the skill set, making it possible, credit being made possible, and just the enablers to support that, to free people into enterprise, as opposed to dependence.
While away from the budget, the operations of telecom firm Airtel Tigo have stabilized. This follows the takeover of the company by government. According to Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Esousu Kufo, all is looking well for the firm to start making some profit by the end of this year. She tells Joy Business most of the debt on the company's books has been cleared.
Indicated we need to stabilize the company. All options are on the table, and I think they are fairly stable now. We've resolved many of their issues. There's still a few that need to be worked on. But the company is thriving. They're making progress. The worst, I think, is behind them. And hopefully by the end of the year, we should see our way clear towards what the next stage of the evolution of Airtel Tigo would be.
You are so far satisfied with the operations?
So far, from all the reports that I've got, we've stabilized, the operations have stabilized, and they're well on their way towards reducing their losses, probably even turning a little profit. So it is good.
And you're watching Business Live. Still to come, Tree Crop Development Authority, hence government, will announce the base price for cashew in December.
It is on the table of the Minister for Food and Agriculture, and in December, we will fix a date to announce the price for you. So in this formula, if the international FOB price changes, the price that will come to the farmer will change.
Welcome back to Business Live. The Tree Crop Development Authority has hinted at the government's readiness to announce a base price for cashew in December. According to CEO William Ejapon-Kwetu, the pricing of cashew, which is expected to bring relief and end the mistrust between the producers and traders, is due to the completion of the modalities, including the definition of raw cashew nuts. Now, Mr. Kwetu announced in Sunyani joined the Cashew Traders and Exporters Association of Ghana's annual conference and inauguration ceremony. Precious Semevo has more.
Conference of Cashew Traders and Exporters Association of Ghana under the theme Building a Sustainable Cashew Value Chain, the role of traders and exporters in Sunyani, discussed matters of concern along the cashew value chain. Key among them is the trading of raw cashew nuts without the appropriate quality control practices that affect quality and price. But having completed the definition of raw cashew nuts among other modalities, the Tree Crop Development Authority, with a mandate to provide policies and regulations to develop the 6 tree crops, says a cashew-based price is expected to take effect from December 2021. William Ejapon-Kwetu is the CEO of the authority.
Through the benevolence of Ministry of Agriculture, they sponsored the definition or standardization of cashew. Also define what the cashew kernel is by Ghana Standards Authority. So a farmer can only package the nut for sale when it has a KOR of 46, a nut count of 190, and then moisture content of less than 10%. This has been determined, and all other parameters determined by a team of experts. It is on the table of the Minister for Food and Agriculture, and in December, we will fix a date to announce the price for you. So in this formula, if the international FOB price changes, the price that will come to the farmer will change. If the exchange rate goes up, the farmer price will go up.
The president of the Cashew Traders and Exporters Association of Ghana, Alex Owusu-Ejei, expressed their satisfaction with the model to address the rifts between producers and traders.
It's not as if we, the traders and the CEOs, are in bed. They are there. We do all the. They bring their calculation on expenditure, their farm clearing activities and all. And we do all those estimations before we come out with pricing. The outcome is totally an activity of we the traders and that of the farmers. Very, very happy because it was bringing so much tension. Farmers were threatening, some can even threaten your life. You guys are making money, we are struggling with that. But now, I believe that if things are transparent, we will judge all and we get to a level where everybody will be happy with what he or she is doing.
He, however, said the high lending rate from financial institutions is a barrier to venture into cashew processing to add value to the over 16,000 metric tons of raw cashew nuts produced.
I've been encouraging my members, we have to invest into it, and it comes with huge sums of money. But if you are in a country whereby you have to pay 20% as interest to keep a factory running, it is not possible. Utility prices are very high. Combining all those factors with the interest, that is why the processing is not forthcoming in Ghana. So leadership should look at it critically. It should not be a political talk. They should set up committees and up their game so that they walk the talk and make sure that we put in place industries to employ the teeming youth who are coming out without jobs.
Ahead of the digitization of the cashew traders and exporters next year, district executives have been inaugurated to steer the affairs of the association. Precious Semevo, JoyNews, Sunyane.
Now, CEO of Oasis Capital, Matthew Boydwe has called for some clear guidelines and regulations on green financing. As world leaders commit to more green projects for a safer climate, companies world over are repositioning product lines to meet the growing demand to go green. Matthew Boydwe has been explaining how best Ghana can attract investments for such projects.
Have a big debate that do we go green straight on, having regards to the fact that we still have energy challenge. I mean, it's only we seem to forget things so quickly. A few years ago, you were having the so-called doomsday, right? And at that, if you were in that situation, would you think of green or not green? All you need is that you need power to power your office. You need it to power your factory. Otherwise, Joy FM, you will not be on air. So long as you want to be on air, you really don't care at that material term. But I think it is important that as a country we begin to think long term. Because I used to have a long debate with some of my Dutch partners who I started 10 years ago with. And the argument was that, oh, Matthew, you should make your house solar, do this. And I say, I have understood all that. But I'm telling you that the battle of going green will be settled by economics. So that is where the argument will be.
And how can that be settled?
It is being settled in the sense that if I look at my traditional source of power cost and the green version of power cost today, I think there are other neck or even the green power source, for instance, is becoming even cheaper. And as economic beings, if I find that there is a certain layer of benefit, I would go that direction. So maybe there could be some incentive from the advanced economy to make green financing more attractive, particularly in developing countries where we are battling with a different challenge. And the different challenge is that if the person has not eaten, you don't talk to somebody who has not eaten about soap opera. There are two different needs, right? So we need funding to develop. And you have the funding, so you can layer that as part of the structure that will compel us to get to know that. Because we should also not work the same 100 years to develop. We can circumvent some of the processes to develop faster because the world today is more integrated. And I think we have seen that in the mobile telephony environment, that Africa really developed faster than any other economies from the time we started and where we are today. I think Africa is quite well advanced in mobile money and other interplay within the mobile telephony, mainly because we didn't have the traditional telephone. I'm sure if we had a traditional telephone widespread, the speed with which mobile telephone had developed in the continent wouldn't have been the same. But I think that
You take a look at what's happening. Carl Bank, for instance, recently was able to secure some $20 million if I'm correct, to help facilitate green finance projects. But the question remains: enterprises, businesses, are they really up to the task of utilizing green finance? Because there must be a change in terms of the product lines that could feed these green financing projects. But we're not seeing much of them in town.
Why not? Because if I have a manufacturing plant, I mean ANC, have you been to ANC Mall just here? Have you seen that they have loaded a lot of panels in there? Do you think that they just decided to do that? One, it is underlaid by maybe proper structure of financing. The economics are better. Reliability is better. So now
that's ANC. We're talking about the several thousands of
I'm giving you an example of a private initiative that tells you that if we are well informed and we are given the opportunity of access to funding, a lot more will be willing to go that direction.
And is that the case now?
It's not the case now because perhaps of limited knowledge.
Well, meantime, participants at the ongoing UN Climate Change Conference, COP26, have been assessing the impact of the Marrakesh Declaration 5 years after it was signed. Governments of 7 African palm oil producing countries in 2020 made a joint pledge to prioritize sustainable palm oil development with support from some of the world's largest producers, buyers and traders. Lands and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abujinapo, who was the main speaker at the event, said it was time the world recognized the significant role farmers, especially those in oil palm, play and paid them what was due their sweat.
With over 4 million hectares of oil palm plantation in APOA partner countries, the contribution of palm oil to our national economies cannot be underestimated. We must, however, develop this industry in a way that does not compromise our rich tropical forests and supports the lives and livelihoods of the farmers and all those who depend on them. Ladies and gentlemen, while we engage in this stock-taking, let us be reminded of the time-tested truth, which is that to make progress, we must pay attention to smallholder farmers. We must pay attention to their inputs. We must pay attention to their livelihoods, and we must bring them around the table. For example, cocoa farmer in Tepa, in the Ashanti region of my country, Ghana, smallholder oil palm farmers, a million others across the world will continue to be the bedrock for the success of our noble efforts arising from the Marrakesh Declaration.
And that's Business Live tonight. Thanks for watching, everyone. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. There are plenty more stories there for you. Thanks for watching, everyone. My name is Darryl Kwa. We'll be back same time tomorrow.